Hi there friends, welcome back to Linen Bouquet. I'm Jasmine here, and along with the series for the Spot of Tea Saucer Sew Along, I am talking to you today about how to pull the fabric for the main saucers. That will be the print that shows here around the border, and with most of our saucers, I bet we're mostly going to go with white in the center. So I will be talking about what prints are best for the saucer edging, and maybe what to look out for and what to stay away from. All right, so I figured today would be a really great day to talk about this since we are finalizing our pulls. If some of you have gotten started sewing already, that's awesome, but I myself am still finalizing my fabric pulls since I have so many saucers that I will be making during these 2 weeks. So let's get into this. I'm going to show you with the screen pointing down so you can get a better view of the fabrics and the details that I am pointing out. All right, so let me show you that. Okay, I hope that's a good view for you. If you hear the sound of raindrops, it just started raining here in Arizona and we need all the rain we can get, so that is wonderful to me. This is the saucer. So the saucer will have this center round applique right on top of it. I've already spoken about the materials used for that. That will be a white fabric with a webbing and an interfacing layered in between, or a stabilizer if that's what you have. And underneath I have just a plain white fabric. You can still see marks from the supposed disappearing fabric marker, which never seems to actually disappear unless you wash or soak it. But I'm mainly focusing today on the outer edge here of the saucer. Now you will see here with the examples that I've made, I have picked florals because, well, first, those are my favorite. I felt like it would be a really nice romantic feel to add florals to these saucers, and I just love how they came out. I wanted to make the saucers look as close to a tea set or a fine china set to give that romantic and feminine touch. But I will be talking about different prints that we can go with to create a little bit of a different theme or feel for different sets. Now you will notice that these here fabrics, even though this is a purple, it is a lighter toned purple, and these are lighter whimsical colors. I like pastels personally, so that is what I use mostly, but I will also be showing you some darker variations and colors. We just want to make sure that if we are creating a set of these saucers to gift, that they complement one another and that they look good together, whether it is a tone or a theme that we are pairing them together with, so that they look really appealing and pretty together for the recipient of your gift. So whenever I pulled fabrics for these, I was looking for small print designs. I wanted a smaller print because this edging here is not very thick. So if you have a larger print, you're not going to be able to see it very well. But if you have a small print, it's going to show beautifully, and it's going to give that china or tea style feel to the saucer, which is very nice outside of that white circle. So let me get started. Okay, so here we have one set of fabrics that I pulled to give you a good idea of what I'm looking for whenever I'm finding fabrics for this project. So here you can see that I have mainly florals in this bundle, and they're all complementing colors. You can see that there are different tones of this type of turquoise color. I went ahead and I grabbed one of my favorite prints in my my fabric stash, and it was this one here. This is an art gallery fabric print. It has a light cream background and these lighter and darker turquoisey colors that are so pretty. Or maybe it's more like a teal, I would say, maybe more of a teal, more greens in there. And I thought this is perfect. It's got a light whimsical sort of watercolor drawn design, and there's a lot to pull from here that can complement other fabrics. So going off of this print here, I was able to make the rest of the pull. So if I were to make a set of 5 of these saucers in these prints, you can see how they would all coordinate and look very nice together. I pulled some prints with this lighter color, but you can see all of these have a small print. So they're all going to show up on that outer edge of the outer edge of the saucer. They're not going to be too big. And I do want to show you that it does not have to be floral. So a pretty geometric print will also look really nice as long as it is non-directional. And this one here with the hexagons is perfect. It's going to look good any direction you put it when it's on the saucer, and so that'll give you an idea of how it will look on the outer edge. See that there? So I thought this pull was really nice, and it is a mix of Tilda's Art Gallery fabrics, Riley Blake, Poppy Cotton, and this one is from Hobby Lobby. I don't know the designer, but you can find it there, and they're just beautiful together. If I were to gift this in a set, I know that they would be coordinated and appealing all together. They don't look misplaced at all because of the colors being pulled from each of them. And I do want to say that Tilda is probably a really safe bet if you are looking to pull fabrics for this project but don't want to spend too much time or thought into it. Most Tilda prints, and I do have a pile here, most Tilda prints are just very romantic, and they have that classic style that is going to look beautiful. This here is from the Windy Days collection, and you can see any of these florals, any of these prints could be placed right on this saucer and work wonderfully because they're all going to show on the outer edge. And while this one might be directional, which I wouldn't recommend a directional print for this project, you will still see enough of the florals around that it wouldn't look distracting or like it's the wrong direction. So Tilda is an excellent choice because most of their fabrics you can mix and match between collections and they're still going to look really good. So here are some examples that I have, and I would say definitely go for it. Whatever Tilda fabrics you have, they're going to look really good together. Okay, so that's one set there. And then let me see. If you are looking to make solids, so solids is a little trickier. They would still look very nice if that is what you're interested in, but I would probably pick a color family or try to make a sort of ombre effect with my set of saucers. It is a little trickier with the solids because it doesn't give that China tea style feel, but they would still look beautiful together. So if that is what you're looking to do, I definitely recommend picking a color family and trying to get some that have similar hues so that they are matching really well together. And this set here, these are all Art Gallery fabric solids. A lot of their hues have a similar undertone, which is more like a muted or even dusty color. So these are really pretty, good option. Okay, so I'll leave them here for you to see. It doesn't have to be all florals. You can pick geometrics. Like I said earlier with the hexagon print, this one is also non-directional. It is a Riley Blake Designs fabric, and it's not too distracting because it's tone on tone pink. Also Riley Blake Designs fabric. It is a pink with these little triangles here, so they look really good together even though they are not in the same collection. And then I got this tiny print floral with strawberries. That's really cute. Because of this tiny print, it's going to look excellent. I already know it's going to look really good on that saucer. And then I've got these other florals, and you can see that this floral is larger than this print here, but it's still going to show up really nicely, and it's non-directional, so any way that you sew or turn the saucer, it's still going to look really nice. So we don't have to go with light colors. We can go with darker colors like this. This is about like a charcoal, I would say, and it's gonna look beautiful. Can you hear that storm? It's starting to thunder and lightning. I love the rainy seasons here, so I am really happy about this weather. But anyway, it doesn't have to be a light color. If you want your set to be complementing but still contrasting with a balanced colorway, this is another good idea. Pulling some super darks and lightening them up as they go, but still complementing. You can see that the greens here, these are part of the same collection, just different colorways. So having that the different colorways of the same collection would also be a really good idea for keeping within a theme. So that's another option for you. Florals and geometrics, large and smaller prints, but still small enough to see on that outer rim. See that? They're gonna fit perfectly. And then I have another idea for you guys. Here we have all whites. So these are all white background prints, and they do have colors. So I would not say that these are low volumes. These are definitely colorful, and they have a white background. I thought this would make a great little set, especially for maybe some little girls that like having tea parties in your life. They all have white, but what you'll notice is that none of them have so much white that there are large areas where there's no print. Even this one here, which is very, very white, there are still lines all throughout, so there aren't going to be no gaps between the color. That will make for a really good saucer, because you're always going to see some of the print sticking out, and you'll still be able to see the white center when it's placed on these prints. It is not going to get lost. It is going to stand out still in the middle. So that is with all of these white background prints. All of these will work, and that is another great idea for a set. If you're just not sure of what color to pick and you just want all the colors, maybe white as a background or cream as a background would be a really good option for you. Okay, and then I have one here that is Christmas. So since we are coming up to the holidays, and some of you might want to give these as Christmas gifts, I was thinking it's kind of difficult to pick a good style of Christmas prints for a saucer, since it seems like it may be conflicting themes. But there is definitely a way for us to get both of those in there. And I picked these more mature styled fabrics, which I would call more mature because they're definitely not for the kiddies. But I think these are just wonderful, and they would make beautiful table settings for guests, or if you're having anyone over for the holidays, wouldn't these look nice next to the fireplace? These two here, actually these three, the red, the darker green, and this cream, are from Joy and Merriment, which is a new collection from Moda Fabrics just this year, and the colors are gorgeous. They're very deep and rich, and so I pulled these three and paired them with this Riley Blake print, which is a khaki, and it has, you can see it has the citrus and the apples and the fall orchard feel, which is beautiful, and I thought those paired really nicely. There goes the thunder. All right, and then this is a poppy cotton fabric. I would say that this would be gorgeous for the holidays, for guests, or for your holiday table settings. These tea saucers are just going to be perfect in these prints. This is a larger floral, and these are much smaller prints, but it's still going to show up beautifully. So that's another colorway and option for you. Whenever I was going through my stash of fabrics here, I have a lot of fabrics that I've saved for many years. I found these two prints that I had forgotten I had, and these are Art Gallery fabrics designed by Amy Sinibaldi. And this is a collection that came out a few years ago now. It is called Sonata. I'm not sure if there was an accent attached to that. Sorry, it just came out. But look at these circular designs here. So these are flowers in a circular design, and look at how beautiful they are. Wouldn't that be perfect as the edging of a complete set of saucers? It's the right size too. So the saucers measure at about I believe it's 6 inches. Let me see. Yes. All right, so whenever they're sewn together, they're about 5.5 inches. And look at how perfectly they fit within that circle there. So I was thinking, if you have this Art Gallery print, either one, it comes in this light corally pink colorway, and then this white and blue one, it would be perfect. It's just the perfect project for them. They fit right onto that saucer, and they're gonna look super fancy. There are not a lot of fabric prints that I come across that have that perfect size circle and floral design. So if you have it, use it. I recommend it. I'm probably gonna make a few of these too. because it just doesn't get any more perfectly paired than these. So I thought that would be fun to share with you guys. I want to talk to you about fabrics that I would recommend not using. Of course, you don't have to listen to me if you don't want to. And if you still want to go with them, great. But I would say that I wouldn't pick these fabrics and I wouldn't recommend them to someone that's looking for some direction with it. So, like I said earlier, you want to make sure that whatever print you pick is going to look good from all angles, okay? So with a stripe, you can see it only goes one way. If I were to turn it, it's just not gonna look the best from all angles. So I would not use anything with stripes. And I was very tempted to add this one, fabric pools, but with that stripe, I just know it's not gonna look the best. I'm not gonna be happy with it whenever it's turned certain ways, and because of the gaps in between the floral and the stripes, it's just not gonna look the best on the project. So stripes, they're just not going to be included here. I would not recommend them. And then here's another directional print. You would think that with the florals that it would just look so darling, and it would, except they're directional. It's not going to look good, and the print is too large, so you're not going to get to see the full flower, which is unfortunate for this print because it's also very lovely. And another one that I would not recommend using is anything with script. It's similar to the striping effect. It's not going to look good from all angles, and there's really no reason to add them on. I mean, you're not going to be able to see the script, and it's just going to look like misplaced stripes, I guess. And then again, with a directional print that is just perfect and cute, but not perfect for this project, is something like this. This print is much too large. It is one of my favorite fabric prints that I found many years ago, and I still haven't found the right project for them. And I would be tempted to use them for the saucers, especially with that circular design, but it's just not gonna fit. It's too large, and I would be heartbroken if I added this on and then couldn't even see the cute prints underneath. So prints like this are just not gonna work. I hope that it's helpful to you to know what I will be choosing and how I would pull fabrics for this project. It's such a cute, impactful project for very little work. I think the simplicity of this project and how just easy it is to put together, it makes a really cute, striking impact, and we want to make sure that we're picking the right prints to go along that edge so that other people enjoy it, especially if they're going to be gifts, and so that we'll enjoy looking at it and not think, oh, I wish I had used a different print for that. So I hope that this helped you. If you liked any of these fabric pools, if you have questions about a specific fabric, I will try my best to answer, but if there's no selvage, I would have to dig, and that takes a lot of time. And with me being the only person behind the scenes working, it may be difficult. But anyway, ask away, ask those questions, and I will try my best to answer them. And again, if you have enjoyed this video, if you have found it helpful to you in preparation for the sew along, I hope that you will like, share with other friends, with other makers in your sewing groups or quilt guilds, and follow along, follow my account so that I can reach that 1,000 subscribers mark. Like I said, everything I'm doing here is free, so I would appreciate anything that you can do to support me, especially in those free ways of liking, sharing, following. We are starting to sew along on Monday, so super excited. I will be finalizing my fabric pulls and sharing them over on Instagram, so you get to see the close-up pictures of all of these and even more, and I will see you there. All right, bye.